on today's episode of Total Recall with Jasper and friends. They're cops.
And not only cops, they're bad boys.
They're bad boys.
Like DJ Khaled's like, hey, I'm back. And I'm like, there's no way DJ Khaled and Tiffany Haddish were in more of these movies.
Tiffany Haddish is new. Oh yeah, there's like one of the world's biggest gators is there, and everyone,
it's albino.
Everyone takes a turn almost getting bit by the gator. Oh, we forgot to talk about Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie.
Oh god. So sit back, relax. It's a trial episode. None of this matters. Just enjoy it and let the beat rock. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to today's trial episode of Total Recall with Jasper and friends. I am your host, Jasper. But before I bring on one of my titular friends, I wanted to give you the lowdown, give you the skinny, give you the scoop, because that's the kind of host I am. So today's episode is a trial episode, meaning that back in June, I had this crazy idea that I might, make a podcast. And I told my friend Pete, hey, would you like to watch the film Bad Boys Ride or Die? And then a month later, get together to make a podcast about it? And he said, sure. Can you believe it? And after that conversation and after the podcast, I would go on to ask a bunch more of my friends if they wanted to participate. And I let them choose the movies for the rest of the season. But this time I got to pick. In between, I also did a little bit of tinkering, I guess you could say, with the rules. I changed a thing or two there, a thing or two here, just to tighten the screws, make it everything I imagined it could be. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I don't really like this show, or oh, this guy's not very good at hosting it, wait a week. Because I promise next week, I'll have this whole thing figured out. And I know what you're thinking. When's next week? This is a podcast. It lives forever. Next week is Monday, September 16th. That's the launch of this podcast. Monday, September 16th. Write it down. Memorize it. Monday, September 16th. Because the fun's only just getting started on Monday, September 16th. Because on Monday, September 16th, I will be delivering podcast goodness on Mondays and Thursdays. Every week we'll have a little theme. We'll have romance week. We'll have 80s synth week. We might even have a little horror week. I don't know. That sounds scary, but we might just have to do it. Or we might not. The only way to find out is to tune in on All Together Now, Monday, September 16th. Good job. I'm assuming you all said that I'm alone in my room right now. But yeah, I think that's all you need to know. That's the scoop. That's all lowdown. That's the skinny. So let's bring in Pete. Hey, Pete. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
A lot of people don't know Pete. You're kind of the master of podcasts.
In that I did a podcast a while ago and then stopped doing it. I think in a lot of ways that does give me sort of license to talk about things like structure and form.
So as someone currently starting out on a podcast, if you had one piece of advice to give me, what would it be?
Don't care about it. Not don't care about it, but like don't care about the results of it. And that's a lot harder to do than it is to say. It's just like, it's hard when you put something out there like this to like just have fun with it. And I think it takes a little like getting in rhythm of being like, oh yeah, here's, I'm not going to look at any of these numbers. I'm not going to like pretend like, oh, but what if people really like this or whatever.
What if people really like it?
No, that's, yeah. I mean, they might. That's the trap. That's the poison is like, there is a chance that this is the greatest podcast ever made.
Well, and we've recorded one, and so far it's 1 for 1.
It's 1 for 1. We're cooking. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk Bad Boys. I'm excited to,
because you and I are kind of a couple of bad boys.
We're in a lot of ways. There are a lot of parallels between our lives and this film. I didn't expect when you told me to do this to do a film that would be so personal to me and to my story. I think that it took a lot out of me emotionally.
Right. Because Pete and I saw this movie in IMAX.
We saw this in IMAX, big screen in the big
screen,
city.
And Pete had a big emotional journey through it.
I did. So for the listeners, this was my first, I told Jasper, this was my first Bad Boys. This was my first bad boy, I should say, as I've only seen.
You've had like flirtations, but you've never gone all the way with a bad boy before.
I've never gone all the way with a bad boy. I've seen him on cable, and we'll message back and forth or whatever. But I'd never committed to a bad boy before.
Well, you committed to a good one.
And I committed to a really good bad boy.
It was a good bad boy. I will get in after we do the recap. I will give you a ranking of my bad boy, a bad boy ranking. Yes, that's what I'll give you, a bad boy ranking.
Okay.
But, let's get into it. Let's talk about bad boys. I got some facts for you to give you some background, and then we'll get into it. So, Bad Boys: Ride or Die is a 2024 action comedy starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. It was written by Chris Bremer and Will Beal and directed by Adil and Bilal. Any familiar with any of those people?
No.
Okay. This is the fourth entry in the franchise, as Pete mentioned earlier, following 1995's Bad Boys, 2003's Bad Boys 2, and 2020's Bad Boys for Life, which you ask me probably should have been the title of the fourth one.
Yeah, it was strange, right? It was...
Right.
So one thing I didn't realize was that one of these came out in 2020.
Yes.
Like, I thought this was like a Top Gun Maverick kind of thing, where early aughts, there were a lot of Bad Boys films. And then this was the one that is the big comeback. And turns out they did this 4 years ago.
Yes.
And was it the same? Because it's doing really well.
Yes.
I've heard it's doing really well.
Big hit.
And frankly, deserves to be. This movie, I don't want to get too much into it right now. This movie rocks.
It does rock. It rocks and it rolls.
It rocks, it rolls, it rocks to the rhythm Barbaran. And there's I've never seen a movie with so much product placement that is like Skittles must have paid $1.2 million to make this movie happen, if not more, and you don't care. It's like, yeah, this feels like the style of this film. This feels like, yeah, so what? There's a full Nissan Altima commercial in this movie.
Ugh, so good.
Who cares?
Well, that's actually makes sense because Bad Boys launched the career of Michael Bay and his signature style of frantic camera movement and excessive explosions. Before Bad Boys, Bay was best known as the director of the Aaron Burr Got Milk commercial. Heard of it?
The Aaron Burr Got Milk commercial?
So someone is calling into a trivia program, right? And they're currently eating a bunch of Oreos or cookies, whatever, and they have to answer a trivia question to which the answer is Aaron Burr, but they can't get the cookies out of their mouth in time because they don't have any milk. And so they go Aaron Burr, Aaron Burr. It's a very famous commercial. Anyway, I studied marketing in college. I don't know if anyone's curious about that.
So that's like you watch that in a class.
I watched that in a class, but it's also looking back at it, it's clear that it's a commercial directed by Michael Bay because it's so epic and it has no reason to be. Anyway, check it out. But Bay would go on to direct such critically acclaimed masterpieces as Transformers and Ambulance. Ambulance with LA capitalized, obviously.
Yeah, Ambulance.
Ambulance, exactly. Bad Boys was also Will Smith's first major Hollywood blockbuster, kicking off a 5-film run that cemented him as a bona fide movie star.
So Bad Boys was before Independence Day.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Smith rattles off in consecutive years Bad Boys, Independence Day, Men in Black, Enemy of the State, and Wild Wild West. 5 straight years, right? And Wild Wild West is considered a bit of a flop, which leads him to return to the Bad Boys universe in 2002. He also bests that 5-film run of $100 million at the box office, which those last 5 movies did, with a 9-movie run in the early aughts. Can you guess any of these movies?
9-film run in the early aughts.
Yes. 9 straight movies in the early 2000s, early aughts.
Yeah.
I
know what the odds are, okay?
Well, you ought to. It's good stuff going on
And
here.
we're done.
Okay. So the 9 movies? I, Robot, Shark Tale, Hitch, Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend, Hancock, 7 Pounds, Men in Black 3, and After Earth, which we all remember very well.
We had Shark Tale on DVD.
Oh, shit.
We had a Toyota Sienna LE.
Oh, my God.
With the DVD player in the back.
Oh,
we had Shark
I was
Tale
always so jealous of the people with the DVD player in the car.
Oh, yeah. We had the DVD player in the back. We had, the rotation was Shark Tale.
Classic.
Monsters, Inc.
Classic.
Probably 1 or 2 of the Harry Potter films.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to remember. Shark Tale and Monsters Inc. were kind of the two big ones we had. Like those were like in the car all the time, never came out, and for good reason.
For good reason.
Yeah. So we wore some holes in the Shark Tale DVD.
Okay, 2 more fun facts for you.
2 more.
The song Bad Boys was released in 1987 by Jamaican reggae band Inner Circle, but only became popular in the US when it was used as the theme song of Cops in 1989. Cops, good show, bad show? What do you think?
I think ultimately really bad for society and also a really bad show. Cops was one of those shows where if if you were over like your like the wrong friend's house for a sleepover, you might be watching Cops for like for too long, you know? And like
Oh, yeah.
and people who love the show Cops really love the show Cops in a way
It's
that
on
is,
like 24/7. If you want to watch Cops, Cops is on.
there's so much Cops, and what it is it's like it's kind of just Sports Center for like fascists. Like it's like it just comes on and it is strange. Speaking of the rise of fascism in this country,
We were just talking about that.
as we often do. It is strange to see movies like this come out now that are like they are like cop movies. I feel like are kind of gone because like the fun of the buddy cop movie is like, look at these incompetent cops figuring it out, and it's like, oh no, that's like bad. If you're
This movie specifically is a lot, especially the first 2 are really about gunplay, and there's a ton of like really elaborate gun sequences that are about like all of Will Smith's huge guns and all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah,
and
it's
now
like- it's
watching
like-
them in like the 2020s, it's like this might have been part of the problem, but pretty fun, pretty cool, pretty fun.
It was like kind of refreshing in a way to watch this movie because it does feel like it feels like a slice of something from a simpler time, if you will.
time.
You know, like it feels like we don't get movies like this anymore,
No.
and there's probably a reason we don't, but they're still really fun to watch and good.
Yeah, because they don't want us to have fun at the movie
They
theaters.
don't. The woke left doesn't want us having fun at the movies anymore.
God, I hate the woke left.
I'm so sick of that. I'm so
Okay,
sick.
one last fun fact for you. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, and Joe Pantoliano, I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how I'm going to say it,
It's
are the only actors to appear in all 4 Bad Boys entries.
and he's the boss, right?
He's the
Joe
boss. He's goes like, my little bad boys in the middle. You
My
know?
little bad boys.
Exactly. Yeah, he died in the 3rd one, spoiler.
Yeah. I figured as much.
Yeah. Over the course of the series, they've been joined by talented thespians as Gabrielle Union, Tia Leone, Michael Shannon, Vanessa Hudgens, Charles Melton, and DJ Khaled. In 2 films, by the way. He's in the 3rd one and the 4th one, DJ
Whoa,
Khaled.
DJ Khaled makes... But he died in this one. Did he die in
Yes.
the other one, too?
We will get to this, but my favorite thing that happens in this movie is DJ Khaled gets run over by a car, and then he's like, ah, in one scene, and then they cut, and DJ Khaled's body is nowhere to be found. Like, they don't show a corpse, they don't show him screaming on the ground, the car just, like, drives off, and they're like, oh, we just killed DJ Khaled,
He's
maybe?
a durable guy, though.
That's
He's
true.
probably fine.
Oh, shit, sorry. It looks like I have one more here. It says, Will Smith bitch slapped Chris Rock live on national television. Did you know about this?
I don't remember.
You
don't remember.
Oh, it was
No.
pretty crazy.
It was on TV, you said.
On
I feel
TV,
like
yeah,
I would've
live
seen
on
that.
TV.
I feel like
Apparently,
I
he said something about Jada.
Yeah, it's. I love the Will Smith sort of renaissance that's happening right now amidst the like very public like crumbling of his like public persona into
yeah.
like
Well, this
it's
is-
bizarre.
This is the thing about Bad Boys is Will Smith tends to return to the Bad Boys franchise whenever he needs something, like he needs a win, and so he couldn't get a project lined up post Slap. P.S. And so he does Bad Boys
As the archaeologist will refer to
They
it.
put this movie together in I think like 9 months to 10 months, and it came out. It was very quick turnaround.
You got to imagine that someone has this locked and loaded, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like they're just waiting on Will Smith to like have an off week, and they're like, "Hey, bud, I heard you're paying a divorce lawyer $100 million. Like, can we interest you in a little Bad Boys?"
Maybe. All right, one softball question for you, Pete, to get you in the mood. Bad Boys is one of many action comedies to pair 2 actors with conflicting personalities for fantastic results. My question for you, a Pokemon aficionado, is which 2 Pokemon would make the best buddy cop pairing and why?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, we're gonna exclude the Detective Pikachu
Right, 'cause
cinematic
it's already been
universe.
done.
It's already been done. Buddy cop. This is harder. You're gonna want to edit around some of this silence as I sincerely think about this.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, famous. Like, if we're just gonna get into it, there's a Pokemon called Gumshoes. He's a detective. He's
Paint
like
a picture
a weasel.
about gumshoes.
He looks like Trump. He does. and I don't know why, because it's like clearly a deliberate choice. Like, it's too much that it's not deliberate. But he also like he's like a weird weasel who's also a detective. So it doesn't really make sense.
Okay.
It's not like he's like the Monopoly Man or something, or But I think you whatever buddy cop duo, he's the stern one, right?
Okay.
And then you get
He
someone
plays by the rules.
He plays by the rules, but he's not opposed to breaking them to get results, And maybe he's more the grizzled older detective, and then this young sort of play by the rules, like there's still good in everyone kind of person comes along, and that who could that be? Who could that be?
I don't know.
Oh man. Again, you're gonna want to edit a lot of this silence out.
I'm gonna keep all of it.
Oh God.
Hold up. You can give me the name after we play the game.
Yeah. We'll circle back.
We'll circle back to it
because we got to get Gumshoes in there, and then I think we need someone with another skill set, like a tracker of some kind. Like someone who's or maybe someone to intimidate. I think we get Gumshoes and we get some sort of big freakazoid.
Okay. We got Gumshoe and a big freakazoid.
We get Gumshoes and we get for simplicity's sake, let's say Snorlax.
Yeah, that's a simple answer.
Gumshoes,
we were all thinking it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with, tiny guy. It's Timon and Pumbaa. Tiny guy who's angry all the time, and big fat guy, and they're kind of gay.
I'd watch it. Okay, so to remind everybody of the rules, Pete knows the rules, obviously. I'm doing this for everybody else.
Yeah.
We have 30 minutes to recap Bad Boys Ride or Die, which we saw about a month ago. Pete will write a bunch of bullets. I will also help him out. And then after 30 minutes, we will score him. He gets 1 point for every correct answer and another point for getting them in the correct order.
Ooh.
At the end of this, after the end of the first season, the contestant with the most points gets 2 dozen cookies courtesy of Mom in the Mail. Woo, woo, woo. You can go to mominthemail.com right now and order it if you want to support my mother's lifestyle. Okay, when we come back, Pete plays the game. All right, it's time to play. Let's put 30 minutes on the clock. Thank you very much. And we'll officially start the game in 3, 2, Bad Boys. Where do we want to start? What do we remember?
Okay, so starting from the beginning.
Okay.
I believe Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, who is spectacular in this film, by the way.
So good.
Martin Lawrence.
He's good in the last one, too. In the first two, he's okay, but they learn how to do, old guy Martin Lawrence in a way that, really brings out everything that's good about Martin Lawrence.
And I feel like Martin Lawrence has kind of been old guy Martin Lawrence his whole life. So I've not I think it's hard to, especially, okay, I'll get back to the story in a second.
Your timer.
But I think it's really hard to, as a comedian, retain being silly and simple, especially when you're a bajillionaire.
Right.
He's so rich and so detached from reality. There's no way you could be a normal person when you're that rich. And then to do simple, I'm hungry comedy all day long.
He's hungry the entire movie.
He's so hungry. and to sell that, I feel is it's hard to do. Speaking of, right? So we're in the car. Will Smith is driving 200 miles an hour in a Lamborghini, on a busy Miami street to his own wedding, it turns out.
Yeah. But Martin Lawrence wants to make a stop.
And Martin Lawrence is I know we're driving to your wedding and we're late to your wedding, probably because of me, because that's the kind of guy I am, right? I think that there's a big fight in the car. They pull over. and they go to, I believe it's 7-Eleven.
Yeah, some sort
Right?
of like bodega.
But it's no, because there is product placement there.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I believe it's 7-Eleven, but it's whatever it is. It's, again, we saw this a month ago, and also to further derail things, I have never walked out of a movie and not been allowed to talk about that movie before. So we walked out of the film, and we watched this movie at 1 p.m. on a Sunday.
That's when it's supposed to be seen.
Yeah, I had it was bizarre. It was
You had also
surreal.
gone to work that day.
Yeah, I had to do some stuff in the office for like a couple hours during the day. I left the office like at like noon, went to an IMAX theater, left at like 3 p.m. and Jasper and I just kind of looked at each other and we were like, "Well, bye." And
I remember being like, I don't know what to say because we could talk about the movie.
yeah, we walked in silence for like 2 blocks because we were like, I don't know, I'm going this way too. So they stop at 7-Eleven.
Right.
There is an elaborate sequence of Martin Lawrence getting a bunch of candy, bringing
He's
it
like
back.
staring into the hot dog machine, like through the
like
glass,
licking
and he's
his
like,
chops,
oh,
like a wolf looking at a sheep.
because
Um,
he's on a diet because he had
Oh,
like his
right,
heart
right.
problems or something. He's on a diet, and his wife and Will Smith are very concerned about him.
yeah,
So he's not allowed to have any candy or hot dogs or junk food or whatever. But he wants it so bad.
he's trying to because he's of a generation where people don't prioritize their heart health in that way.
Is that a cause you care about?
It's not something I came on here planning to talk about, but I think that we need to. I think men in particular, need to show that weakness, and I think that is weirdly a big theme in this movie.
It totally is.
Like men being vulnerable, but also badass at the same time, and like not really being vulnerable, but like the guy's like married. Oh no, he married his physical. Anyway, we'll circle back to that. In
Okay,
a
so
second.
Martin Lawrence makes a stop at 7-Eleven. He's on a diet, but he wants candy and stuff. And someone tries to like stick up to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
But they're cops. They're cops.
And not only cops, they're bad boys.
They're bad boys.
The guy picked the wrong day to do it.
It's tough.
And Martin Lawrence is like, "You better fuck off, bro. Like my partner's gonna absolutely shoot you or do police brutality on you."
Will Smith does a lot of police brutality.
He does a lot of police brutality in this movie, but I think it's tasteful.
Yeah.
So they go. The guy tries to hold up the store. Bang bang boom.
Bang, bang,
Will
boom.
Smith mad that they had to pull over because he shot a guy and just left him there to bleed out, presumably. Like he shot him like in the like femoral artery. Like he shot him like in the leg.
They people in this movie when they get shot die.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a Marvel movie where they just kind of like get shot in the kneecaps and they like
get
fall
bumped
down
through a wall or
Yeah.
something, and it's like, oh, a person would have broke every rib in their body.
Nah, this is rated R.
This is a-
we should have
this is
said.
a
We should have said
hard
at the
R.
beginning.
And
Kids
guess
not
what?
allowed.
And guess what? I know you just heard me swear. I might do it again.
Oh, good news for you is Kate swore like the whole time.
Wow, classless.
Okay, but they're on the way to
We
Will
are not.
Smith's
We are
wedding.
not. We are not through the first 5 minutes of this movie, and we are 6 minutes into this timer.
Will Smith's getting married.
Will Smith's getting married. Turns out Will Smith's getting married, and this was where it became very evident to me that I had not seen any other Bad Boys movies, because not only did I not know who any of these characters were, I did not know, and this is going to be a running theme for me throughout this. I did not know who I was supposed to know.
Well, this is kind of
And- because everyone is presented as like, this is like, hey, I'm back, and it's like DJ Khaled's like, hey, I'm back, and I'm like, there's no way DJ Khaled and Tiffany Haddish were in more of these movies.
Tiffany Haddish is new in this one, and we will
Yeah.
get to her, and she plays one of the craziest characters I've seen in a movie in a very long time.
It's bizarre.
It's not crazy as in like interesting. I mean crazy just in like who thought of this.
It's why is this a part of this?
It's also like not important to the plot of the movie. I think she just
they
like
just
called.
wanted Tiffany Haddish in this movie.
Yes.
It felt like.
But Will Smith's getting married to his physical therapist.
His physical therapist, who I thought was his regular therapist, and I was like, "That's really unethical."
Actually, wait, she might be his actual.
No, she's his physical therapist.
Okay.
Because I remember having that in my head of like, is he really gonna marry his therapist? That's not
Right.
good.
And everyone's at this wedding, and it's going great.
It's going so well. Cut to, guess who?
Uh-oh.
Martin Lawrence. He had too much candy and hot dogs at the 7-Eleven.
No.
And now has either a heart attack or goes into a diabetic coma, has some sort of issue where he passes out on the dance floor. And it's bad. Everyone thinks he's dead.
Everyone thinks he's dead. All the characters that Pete didn't know, but I knew, they're all very concerned for Martin Lawrence.
They're stunned. They're stunned. They're in disbelief. They're worried that their friend is dying. And I am too. And I just met the guy.
Because you love him.
And yeah, it's like, I get it. He's funny. And so then we go into this sort of mystic trance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This sort of this Aronofsky-esque sort of dream sequence.
It reminded me of the Black Panther like realm where he like goes to meet like with his like
the spirit realm or whatever. Yeah. Well, so there's like a weird like. Sure, close enough. And we and so then we see who I later learn is the Chief.
The Chief.
And frankly, he looks a lot. He's got a real Jimmy Buffett thing going on. And
he does.
Who also passed recently, so I thought it was kind of tasteless. But the Chief tells him, "Hey pal, you got more to live for, so this isn't your time yet." But like the implication being like the Chief kind of being like, "But take care of yourself, pal." And so then Martin Lawrence wakes up in the hospital. Was it a couple days later?
A couple days later, everyone's very concerned about him.
Everyone thinks he's dying, and he frankly was. And then he goes
up to the roof.
Yeah, he goes up to the roof. He's about to take his own life, you think, right? And Will Smith runs up to stop him. And he turns around and he's like, "I can't die. I'm immortal."
Yes.
And you're like, all right, I see where this is going.
Which, to be clear, is a plot line copy and pasted from Fast and Furious 8.
That's interesting.
Because in Fast and Furious 8, Tyrese also comes to the realization that because of all of the crazy things they've done in those Fast and Furious movies, he has to be immortal, otherwise he should clearly be dead. Yes. Which is too meta for Fast and Furious and kind of why it goes downhill. Where in this movie, I think it works because Martin Lawrence before this is always kind of like the worried one. He's the family man. He's not concerned about. He's very concerned about like
it's a change
punishment.
In the status quo.
And Will Smith is the bad boy. Yeah. He's always kind of shooting before thinking. And now they've kind of switched roles.
Things have turned.
Right.
The tables have turned.
Will Smith now has a wife he cares about, whereas Martin Lawrence thinks he can't die. And now we're ready to go.
We're locked and loaded, right. Baby. And so then we cut to, I believe this is next, right? We cut to, or no. He comes home and he is overtly horny in front of his like his friends and child.
Yeah.
Like his daughter. And
is horny.
It's played off as like it's like fun and flirty, but it's also like it's a little much.
Yeah.
For and that's the thing that's strange about this movie, I think, is that at the same time as being like a hard R, like, you know, buddy cop,
right,
crazy action movie, there's also a lot of like there are like for like a half hour at a time you'll forget that this isn't like a family movie.
Oh yeah.
And it's strange. And so then like Martin Lawrence coming home and being like horny but in like a family way, you're like, what is this?
Yeah. It's very much like two parents like putting on a show about how in love they are.
Yes,
but like the mom doesn't want to do it, but Martin Lawrence is like, I gotta have sex right now.
Yeah.
Is kind of what's going on.
Because I can't die.
But we should get to like the real plot of this movie, which is that someone frames
Yes, that's
the
the next.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah.
They're at Martin Lawrence's house.
Yeah.
With Reggie, who we'll talk about later. I love Reggie.
And Reggie, I take it, is in all of the movies.
Reggie's in 2 and 3. He's not. Reggie was a 2 introduction.
Okay, that makes sense because he's the anyway. So we cut to the bad guy, Nate's dad from Euphoria. He is in this film. He comes into this, I guess, mob banker's house, and he's like, like, hey, why don't you have this, prostitute or whatever sit on my lap while I point a gun at you or whatever. And they go through this whole thing, blah, 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 money, money, money.
Blah, 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 blah.
Shoots the guy, and they're like...
Shoots... What's he's like, accountant? Shoots the accountant?
Shoots the accountant, and then...
Oh, yes.
And then he's like... oh, don't worry. They'll think you killed him. And then she's like, well, but I'll say I didn't. And she's like, well, then you won't be able to tell nobody. And he like blasts her in the head like she shot herself.
Yeah.
And that's our introduction to this sinister guy. And so then this is where I think it's going to get tough for me.
Okay. I can take over for a bit. If you want to type, I can talk.
Oh, my screen locked.
No way.
JP, okay. you gotta turn off the parental locks on this thing.
Well, you're a child.
So what the hell? I'm out of here.
Okay.
I can't take this.
So here's what's going on.
Left.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, they storm into the police office, right? And they're like, hey, you're framing our captain. What the hell?
Yeah, so on the news it comes out. The captain made all these wire transfers. That's what the bad guy was doing. Right. The captain made all these wire transfers to like drug cartels. And they're like, yeah, you're framing our guy. And there's a really pretty district attorney in there.
Right.
And
she is like loyal. So I don't remember her, but apparently she's from something. But she's like basically sitting there and being loyal to Will Smith and Martin Lawrence when everyone else wants to like push them aside. And she's dating the guy from Fantastic Four, who I don't remember what his name is in this movie.
I did not see Fantastic Four. So.
The original one? The old ones?
No.
They're
I
bad.
Didn't see any of them.
You should watch them. They're not good. But anyway, so then Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are essentially on their own to investigate this for the rest of the movie.
So my thinking was that the DA had a romantic history with Will Smith. Am I correct in that?
Maybe. Will Smith has kind of slept with almost every available woman in one of these movies.
That makes a lot of sense in universe.
Yeah, because the interesting thing about him being married in this one is he has more chemistry with everybody else who isn't his wife.
I couldn't agree more. And the wife is barely in this thing.
Barely in it.
And I think that's on purpose. They have her in there for 2 seconds, and then every woman is just throwing themselves at him, and he's like, I got a wife. Except Vanessa Hudgens.
Because she's dating the other guy. So
he's a hunk.
But the team's not here yet. So then,
yes.
Where do they go?
So they go, they go to the art show.
They go to the art show.
Because they get texted a video from the chief, and the chief's like, I'm drunk and I'm gonna get popped or whatever.
Yes.
And so they go. Oh no! They get some sort of text, and they're going to the art show, and I gotta start typing more.
You're good.
But they're going.
Probably click on it though, so it doesn't power down again.
Yeah. They go to the art show. Do they get the video before the art show?
Yes, the video. So they get 2 videos.
Yeah.
They get a video like saying like, if you're getting this video, I'm dead. I left some sort of like clue or something at the art show. So they have to go to the art show to get like something that unlocks the real video where the chief gives them like more information. Is how I think it happens.
Yeah. And so, because he's like, look, if this is really you, you'll know what I mean by this.
Yes.
And I've stashed the rest of this video elsewhere.
Yes.
And so then they go talk to this art show guy.
Yeah.
And he's another guy where it's like, he must be in the other movies, right?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, good. And so at the art show, there's a guy, and he's tall. This guy's tall.
Tall guy.
This guy's tall.
This guy could like play the 4.
This guy's got a power forward physique for sure. And everybody's like, or everybody being our bad boys.
Our beloved bad boys.
They kind of storm in, not guns blazing, but they're coming in hot. They're mad. And they're like,
and Martin Lawrence doesn't think he can die, so he's trying to like go crazy.
So he's trying to test his limits.
Right.
And he clearly, he's a little gung ho, I'll say. And he pulls his gun in this crowded art gallery.
Yep.
And nobody reacts. In the whole. It's a huge art gallery full of people, and there's people like talking directly behind them, and he's like getting in this guy's face, and he's like, "I'm pulling a gun on you," loudly, or whatever, and like, and this guy's like, "Okay, no need, look over there," and they're, keep in mind, these guys are. I know don't give me. I know it's like they're doing sketch comedy kind of stuff, but like, they are terrible cops, man.
Oh, they're not good cops.
They're terrible cops.
But so at the art show, we need to move on a little bit. They pull the gun, bang, bang, boom, 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 boom. They get the next message. The message.
Well, bang, bang, boom, boom. The bad guys show up and kill everyone. They don't kill anyone. The bad boys don't kill anyone who doesn't deserve it, obviously.
No, that's not what they would do.
They're sort of
bad guys shoot the bad boys.
So that's how we learn that the bad boys are the bad guys are onto the bad boys.
Right.
They know something's up, and they're looking for the last of this info.
Right.
And they're trying to stop the bad boys from figuring it out.
And so then something in the Chief's next video tells Will Smith he has to break his son out of prison.
But they
right?
need the help. Yeah, but they need the help to get the video. They need the help of Vanessa Hudgens.
Right.
And
she's like a hack. And
Ryan
doesn't matter.
Yeah, he seems like a Ryan.
Okay, so they go there, go to the squad,
team up with the
hack into video.
It was jarring to see Vanessa Hudgens show up in this too, because again, I didn't realize there was one in 2020. I thought this was like the first one in a long time, and they introduced Vanessa Hudgens like, oh, you know her, the tech lady or whatever.
Yes.
And it felt. I was like, am I going insane?
No. So the thing about it is they've tried to, and we don't have time for this whole rant, but they've tried to kind of fast and furious this franchise, and they keep on trying to introduce more like lower level people that will return for more movies, and they just don't work because you don't care. But it's interesting. They're there and they do stuff. But anyway, all right, we got to get going because we're like nowhere near even the middle of this movie.
We have barely passed the inciting incident.
Okay, so they talk to Will Smith's son in prison. He's furious.
Oh, yeah. Because he's in prison, obviously.
Right, because Will Smith put him in prison in the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's very emotional for him because he fucked this weird drug cartel lady in 10 years earlier. Whatever.
Yeah,
not 10 years. He's
in
like
college.
20.
He was in college.
He was college, whatever. He's super mad, but like they need him.
But he's so handsome, too.
Super handsome, super
This guy's
hot.
a hunk.
Also, Will Smith's son is like Latino. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's whatever.
Okay. So how do they break him out of prison? He breaks out of prison.
No, so they're going to transport him
right in the copter
in the copter to potentially pardon him, get a presidential pardon from Joseph Robinette Biden, and so they're flying him back to Miami, and then we cut to the cockpit, and we see who's there but our bad guy, Nate's dad. Nate's dad from Euphoria. Also a bad guy there. Bad guys, and so, well, he's not driving it. He's just like the security detail. And and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence see him. Mm-hmm. But we know, it's a little dramatic irony, we know that they don't know.
Right.
And so then they get in, and guess what?
Bang, bang, shoot him up.
Bang, bang, shoot him up in the helicopter.
It's a pretty freaking
and
good
they
bang,
have
bang, shoot him up.
parachutes and stuff. And it's a quality bang, bang, shoot 'em up. There's a whole sequence where Martin Lawrence is like grabbing a rope and Will Smith is grabbing Martin Lawrence and they're grabbing like the cage where...
Yep.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's really good stuff.
And the helicopter crashes, not a scratch on these guys.
No.
And
but then there are the rogue in the forest, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, and Will Smith's sons. Kind of like a little road trip buddy comedy moment.
And they have perfectly good clothes, but... Oh, because they crash in like a lake, right?
Yeah, copter crashes. They survive.
And they're like, we need to get some clothes.
Get some clothes. Yes, because their descriptions, they're essentially outlaws now, fugitives.
Yeah.
And
so they go to like a redneck, like...
Right.
So it's like this little... It's not like a trailer park, but it's like where you would go to like shoot guns in the woods without anyone bothering you. You know?
Yeah.
And so they grab some clothes. Very fun moment where Martin Lawrence is like, these are our clothes. How dare you accuse us of stealing?
Right.
And he's wearing like a white power shirt.
It's funny because they're not white.
Yeah. No, it's a little tamer than white power. It's like proud white boy or something like that.
And then Will Smith's wearing like a Reba shirt.
Oh yeah, and they
Yeah.
have to pretend like they don't know who Reba McEntire
They sing a little
is.
Reba song.
It's like,
We should include that.
you guys have been famous since the 90s. There's no way you don't know who Reba McEntire is.
Reba song.
Um,
Okay, so then they run through the forest. They get the clothes from the guy, the redneck, and then I don't remember.
So then they're finding their way back, but
Right.
then, internal affairs lady, the chief's daughter,
Chief's daughter.
who's not Lily Ray but looks like her, I think, is like, I can't let you guys go. So she's on the manhunt because the son killed her dad.
Yes.
So she's like, I can't let this guy go free.
Right.
I know what you guys are up to. This is crazy. He's gonna kill. He's gonna kill again. I'm gonna kill this kid.
Okay,
if
yeah.
I find him.
Chief's daughter.
Chief's daughter, who also has like a weird will they won't they with Will Smith. But
I think they did.
Oh, they did.
I think they did in a previous movie.
Oh.
Maybe in 2, maybe in 3. I don't remember. Probably not in 3 because 3 is about him like trying to settle down. So probably in 2.
Yeah.
But 2 is about him getting with Martin Lawrence's sister.
What?
Gabrielle Union is Martin Lawrence's sister, and they like had hooked up like in between movies, and the whole thing is like Will Smith pretending it didn't happen for a lot of the movie, but she's also secretly like an FBI agent. I think.
And Dwayne Wade is leaving some really stressed out Instagram comments on
Yes.
everything.
Yeah, this is probably when Dwayne's in Chicago.
Yeah, probably. So then they're fugitives. They steal one of the rednecks' cars and
Yes.
they get back to the city.
Steal a car. Classic bad boy.
And their first stop is Tiffany Haddish's strip club.
She's like an
She's like a
informant
club
lady.
promoter.
Yeah.
It's a strip club, but not, I think. It's like a strip club that's also like a dance club.
Yeah.
And she is like the madam of the brothel, but also like sort of this like cyberpunk neon like
Yes.
person.
A lot of like rave stuff going on here. A lot of bright colors. A lot of like strobe lights going on. And they go in and they think Tiffany Haddish is going to be helping them, but she's actually not helpful at all. She's already ratted them out to the other people, I believe, because they show up and there's more bang bang shoot 'em up.
Yeah. She's already because the word went out. The bad guy set the word out that the bad boys. There's a not a hit on the
bounty.
a bounty on the bad boys.
Yes.
Bad boys. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do when they come?
What
for
are
you?
you gonna do?
I don't know. Just for everyone's listeners, we got 5 minutes here,
We got 5 minutes,
and we're about halfway through.
if that. So Tiffany Haddish rats him out. After this was another moment where I was like, "This is all right. This is not this is a hard R movie.
Hard R.
Because she's talking about sex stuff. Mm-hmm. It's gross in a lot of ways. But so then
they escape the thing,
yeah,
and then
by
they go
running over DJ Khaled.
running over DJ Khaled in the car, and so then they're driving the car out, and they go visit Vanessa Hudgens and Ryan.
Yes.
I don't know if that's Ryan's actual name, but they visit them in the houseboat / like HQ.
Yeah, he's like they're like living out of a houseboat with somehow perfect Ethernet.
Yeah.
Which, famously easy to do on water. There is that shot too of Vanessa Hudgens. It's the Star Trek 2 shot where she's like fully in lingerie coming down the stairs, and it's like, what are you guys doing here?
Well, because
there's like 8 seconds before she like covers up.
Right, because she's been hooking up with Ryan, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence didn't know that, and it's meant to be like, oh, isn't this a fun little like family little unit we got going on here? It doesn't really land, but it's whatever.
But there's also the moment that they're like, we have to show off how hot this person is.
Yes.
And so like there's a long time before like, whoa, you guys are here. Cover up.
Right. Okay. 4 minutes left. They frame the DA into like saying something on the phone and giving up the location of the bad guy, which is the weird water park.
Yes.
But they do one scene where they like frame him into saying something. They send in the guy, right?
Oh, no. It was the DA. The DA realized that her boyfriend, who was the other, the federal attorney, I think.
So DA's boyfriend betrays her. They kidnap him?
Yeah, they like, well, no. So she's like about to go to dinner with this guy, and she realizes, right? and she's like, well, so he's like, hey, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing. And she's like texting Will Smith, and he looks over at her phone and sees she's texting Will Smith, and he just starts beating the shit out of her in the elevator. And she's like, what? You know?
I don't remember this at all.
Oh, she's like, I wish you hadn't seen that. And boom, 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 starts hitting her in the elevator, and she's fighting back, and the guns are going off, but they're not hitting anybody. And then Will Smith is like, we gotta get over there, and they get over there just in time.
Right.
And she's like, I got you, you piece of shit. And he's like, ever since the Iraq War, we've been working with the cartels, and not a single domestic terrorist attack, unless you count all the ones that actually happened.
Right. Because the whole right. And so then they use him as bait so the bad guys are holed up at this weird amusement park, water park thing, and they have Will Smith. Oh, we forgot to talk about Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie.
Oh God.
Reggie.
So the bad guys, in an effort to get to Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, go to Martin Lawrence's house and attempt to kidnap his family. And Reggie, who is a U.S. Marine and has been like just gotten shit on for 4 straight movies, has this epic fight against like 10 or 12 bad guys in which he just like gives it to him. And it's basically like a oneer. It's like a crazy cool action sequence out of nowhere.
It's cut between that and like people like Martin Lawrence reacting to the fight scene because he's watching it on like his Ring doorbell.
Okay, yeah,
there's a big production of like, I got a Ring doorbell, and then it comes back later.
Ring doorbell.
It pays off.
Reggie fight.
And then
but so when they're doing that, they do manage to kidnap Will Smith's wife.
Yeah, but Martin Lawrence's family is fine.
Yeah.
And then and they capture the DA's like daughter or whatever.
Kidnap daughter.
Or the internal affairs lady.
Yeah, kidnap daughter and Will Smith's wife. Beat up DA, working with cartels, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Use DA, boyfriend as bait.
To go to Crocodile Park.
Go to Croc Park.
And because that's where nobody will find you. It's the
Right.
Croc Park. If you're dealing drugs, Croc Park.
Okay, minute left.
100 million drones come in and basically win the whole fight immediately. And there's no reason they actually had to send the bad boys in at any point.
No, it's a lot of bang, bang, shoot 'em up.
It's a lot of bang, bang, shoot 'em up. There's a gator attack.
There's like one of the world's biggest gators is there. And
it's albino.
Everyone takes a turn almost getting bit by the gator. Like each different character has a different run-in with the gator.
Martin Lawrence gets his arm chomped.
People.
And spirituality leaves his body. Oh yeah, he's been like a Zen Buddhist throughout this whole movie. Like he's been Tao of pooing his whole whole mission.
And someone in here, Will Smith gets slapped.
Will Smith gets slapped by Chris Rock, and 15
seconds.
They get the bad guys and they pew 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 shoot him up, and then they go home and they Will Smith hangs out with his wife. And is like, and he's been having panic attacks the whole time. And he's like, maybe I should seek treatment. But then no.
All right. I think that was pretty good.
Whew.
Okay, well, now that we've done that, what did you think of Bad Boys? Like, as a movie?
I thought it was awesome. It's one of those movies, it reminds me in a lot of ways of, if you've seen the first Mad Max movie, like the OG Mad Max movie, it's a movie where the plot is sort of secondary to the vibe of the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And I think that this movie was really effective in just doing what it wanted to do.
Yes. Bad Boys has a history of being like very inventive with their action scenes, and this one in particular has a lot of very cool and innovative like drone shots and first person shots and like shots where you're on like looking at Will Smith and he's like turning around and shooting.
Stuff. They were taking
all sorts of weird and cool battles.
In
it's super
really
cool.
fun ways. I thought it was. I had a blast at this movie. I think though there was a row of like women in their 40s and 50s behind us who were like Bad Boys fans. And they were having a blast, and I wish we had been sitting with them. They were stoked when Reggie had his fight scene.
Who wasn't?
What I was stoked, and I didn't have any stake in the game.
It was really the Reggie fight scene is far and away the best part of the whole movie, and it is truly kind of triumphant in a way that the movie doesn't really earn, but it does work.
Yeah, I feel that. It did feel like though for the people in the back, it was like. I assumed he was having these moments the whole time, and I guess he wasn't. And so then like everybody was like, finally, the Reggie scene. Reggie got to be like there were audible Reggies from the back. It was awesome.
All right. So Pete, you're gonna read it back to me, and I'm
Okay.
gonna give you an up or down, and you should just put something next to each bullet point that says yes or no. So you
Okay.
can highlight it. You can do like a check.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm gonna do this guy. I'm gonna do a little asterisk.
Okay. Perfect.
Or no, I'll do an exclamation point if we got it, an X if we didn't get it, and an asterisk if we came close.
Okay. So we started. Yeah, you start.
Okay. Pete arrives at the cinema 15 minutes before Jasper plays games on his phone till Jasper arrives.
Did that happen?
Exclamation point.
Okay, that did happen. Okay.
Will Smith plus Martin Lawrence in the car. He's driving 200 miles an hour to his own wedding.
Okay. The Wikipedia completely skips that and goes straight to the wedding, but that did happen.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
did
We
happen.
did not dream that.
No.
I'm putting an exclamation point.
He is on a diet. That's in here.
Martin Lawrence wants to make a stop at 7-Eleven. That if they cut right to the wedding, then we're right about. We might
Yeah.
not be right about 7-Eleven, but we're right about that.
Yes. Someone tries to rob a store. Will Smith shoots
We're
guy.
right about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Will Smith getting married to his physical therapist.
Check. Christine is the
Christine.
physical therapist's name. Also, because we didn't do it, Will Smith's character is Detective Mike Lowry, and Martin Lawrence is Marcus Burnett.
But are they really?
They're Will Smith Martin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Martin Lawrence's name is Marcus.
Right. Marcus
Lawrence.
When Marcus wakes up, this is Wikipedia, he believes he cannot die. So we got
He has
that.
a heart attack.
Mystic Trance, we got that.
Mystic Trance. You got more to live for. Chief
Yeah.
Vision.
Yeah.
Wakes up, goes to the roof. Will Smith is still worried.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Lawrence thinks he can't die. Check.
Check.
Martin Lawrence is horny.
Nothing in here about that, but I think that did happen.
It definitely happened. I just don't know if it happened in the right order.
Okay, hold on. That happens later.
That happens later? All right, I'll
Yes.
put an asterisk.
Yeah, put an asterisk. So that doesn't happen in that order. Bad guy, dead in Euphoria. Yeah, because they go home to Martin Lawrence's house, and they see on the news that the captain is being framed.
Mm-hmm. So, shoots the account. Yeah, that happened. So we didn't have. Wait, they got a video from the chief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next I have DA's office. Hottie is loyal to Will Smith.
Yes.
Gets a video from the chief. Go to the art show.
Mm-hmm.
Is that next?
Hold on. Let me see. So the conspirators try to access his computer, and they trigger a failsafe, and that's what sends the videos
Right.
initially.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then Howard uses the phrase Coke bottle as a catchphrase, and it was revealed that he gave their information to a former colleague.
Oh, because of his Coke bottle glasses.
Right.
Right.
And they go to that colleague's club to retrieve the files that has the other video of Captain Howard.
I'll give us an asterisk for that. I feel like we got some of it, but we didn't get the whole context.
Okay.
At the art show, Martin Lawrence pulls his gun. Nobody reacts.
Boom, 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 boom.
Got it. Bad guys shoot at the bad boys. Got it.
They're wanted fugitives at this point. Yes.
Yes. Go the squad.
Oh, they go to
Go to the squad.
Go to the squad.
Hack into video. Told to break Will Smith's son out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Uncover clues. Identifies the man who tried to kill Captain Howard as James McGrath. That's the bad guy. Well, undercover. Blah 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 blah. This
James
doesn't matter.
McGrath.
Yes. So they break him out of prison.
Yeah. He's super mad, but they need him. They don't
Right.
break him out though. He crashes.
Yeah. So they don't break him out. They transfer him. You're
transferring
right
him,
about the
yep.
transfer.
Bad guys driving the chopper.
Yep.
They're not driving, but
Flying.
they end up, crashing it. Copter crashes. They
Copter
survive.
crashes.
Get some clothes at the redneck encampment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm going to put an exclamation. I'm just going to combine these rows because that's the same idea, but we were both typing at the same time. Reba song.
Reba song.
Check.
That's in the trailers. That's kind of cheap,
Yeah.
but that did happen. Chiefs daughter.
I didn't see
after
any
him.
of the trailers for this. I mean, I probably saw them like during basketball games and stuff, but those were all the like Jimmy Butler ones where it's
Yeah.
like, I could be a bad boy. Shut up. Shut up, Jimmy.
You got beef with Jimmy?
I got beef with anyone in a Heat jersey.
Pete's riding high off the championship.
Oh yeah, let's go, boys. Run it
Steal the
back.
car. Visit Tiffany Haddish. That's all correct.
Boom. Boom.
Um,
Bang bang, shoot 'em up at the
McGrath
club.
organizes the kidnapping of Christine and Callie. So that's Will Smith and then the daughter. So we write about that. Do we have anything in between there?
We had Escape to the Houseboat with Vanessa Hudgens.
Okay,
and
so
Ryan.
I don't know where that is in here. Okay, but then after the kidnapping is the Reggie scene.
Yep, Reggie
so I
fight.
think this DA's boyfriend thing, we got that out of order.
Which one?
DA's boyfriend betrays her.
Oh
Spelled wrong.
yeah.
They kidnap him.
Yeah, that's way out of sequence.
Yeah. Rita, Dorn, and Kelly apprehend Lockwood. That's the guy we're talking about. And
Sure.
he's exposed for working with McGrath. They use Lockwood as bait. We got that. And the team engages in a fierce gunfight with McGrath's men at a former alligator-themed amusement park. Right?
I think so. I think we're doing good so far.
Yeah.
This is out of sequence, I think.
Okay, which one? I will figure it out.
Just all the DA stuff is out of sequence.
I don't even think he's the DA. I think he's something else. I think he's running for mayor.
Used it. He's a state prosecutor who's
Right.
running for mayor.
Yes. Okay. Croc Park, yeah. 100 million drums. I remember that. That did happen to Croc Park. Gator almost eat people. That's in here.
Will Smith gets slapped.
Get slapped. That I think that happens earlier. Actually, yes, that does happen earlier. As
Okay.
he showed in thing.
Martin Lawrence gets chomped.
Yes. They get the bad
They
guys.
get the bad guys.
Yeah.
Shoot them up.
Go home.
Go home.
Yeah. And they also, it's important to note, if you're following along with the theme of the movie, they cleared Howard's name and all charges of corruption are dropped. And Marcus and Mike celebrate by cooking food in a public grill with Reggie.
Oh yeah, and Reggie gets
It's a
his turn on the
beautiful scene.
grill. It's an awesome scene. It makes it really pays off the whole film.
Okay. Well, I think you did pretty well here, Pete.
I think I did pretty good too. I'm for someone who has not. It's been over a month, I think,
Yeah.
and this movie really burned into my brain in a lot of ways because I was not in a space where I thought I was going to be like locked in for a movie. And I was like, oh, if this sucks, I'm going to be in such a bad mood after this. Because I had to go into work on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to the movies. I had to go to the movies.
I kind of forced him into doing it.
But no, it was a blast. It was a thrill from top to bottom.
Any other Bad Boys thoughts?
I just don't know what they're going to do when we come for them. I'm racking my
Hey,
brains.
Pete, that's why we go to the movies.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, Pete, we're going to end this how we end every episode.
Are we? I threw up this morning, by the way.
Threw up this morning? This
Yeah.
morning?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fine. It was just water. I woke up really dehydrated, drank a ton of water, and then worked out. And I was like, shouldn't have drank all that water.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This guy's a pro.
Yeah.
He's looking svelte these days. I
I'm
want that on the
slim. I'm
record as
trim.
well.
I'm kind of a bad boy in a lot of ways.
Okay.
I'm on the bad boy diet,
So anything
which
you
is
wanna
just
plug?
Skittles. Yeah. I mean, if you guys like silly stuff, I did a podcast a while back that was like a improvised true crime thing. It's a little narrative series that's really fun. There's a lot of funny people on it. Go check that out.
Including
It's called
the Ryan Gaul.
TV's Ryan Gaul.
TV's Ryan Gaul. Also my English teacher's husband, Ryan Gaul.
He's one of the greats. And yeah, check that out. Closer to Hell is the name of that show. I do a couple of shows on the Improv Asylum podcast feed as well. Go check those out. I don't know if that's the feed. I don't know what the deal with those is. That's out of my court. I just show up. Yeah. I got nothing else. I
right.
don't think. But this was a blast. Let's do it again sometime.
Okay. That's our episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? If you hated it, please don't tell me. I'm very fragile right now. But yeah, my thanks to Pete for doing this episode with me. Thanks for giving this weird show a shot. And this awesome music you're hearing, that was made by the genius Chase Obrecht. The logo you see on the side of this podcast, that was made by the incredible Ross Fortzheimer. I'm your host, Jasper Pike. Total Recall is, as always, dedicated to Elena, Angie, and Rose. Thanks for not turning the TV off. We'll see you next week.